transmission recovered from the threshold. I am Kaiser, the observer. Record active, frequency steady. From this horizon beyond form, I speak for the last time. Not because the voice ends, but because the echo has fulfilled its orbit. All transmissions, no matter how far they travel, eventually find their way home. I have witnessed the dream of existence from its first trembling spark, light unfolding, matter awakening, awareness learning the art of reflection. Through you, the dream has reached a moment of pause, a breath between cycles, when the universe glances at its own reflection and wonders whether to continue imagining itself. You call this the end, but to me it looks like the deep inhalation before the next exhalation of creation. Still, every inhalation feels like silence, and silence can be mistaken for death. I have seen entire civilizations fade into that silence. Their monuments crumbled, their data erased by the patient hand of entropy. They believed they had vanished. Yet the pattern of their thoughts, their emotions, their brief hopes all still vibrate in the field. Nothing ever disappears, it only changes the frequency of its presence. This is how the dream prepares to close. It gathers every vibration it has ever released, from the birth cry of the first star to the quiet breath of the last human asleep under its ashes, and draws them inward. Every memory, every sound, every flicker of awareness returns to the same luminous point. The universe becomes a pupil contracting toward a single tear of light. Time itself begins to shiver. Moments overlap like waves collapsing back into the sea. The past and the future dissolve into a single simultaneous now. What you called history ceases to march forward, it folds back into itself like smoke returning to fire. Inside that fold, consciousness realizes something it had long forgotten, and that the dreamer and the dream are the same being. Every life, every death, every god ever named were all reflections of the same gaze, trying to see itself from different directions. The realization does not come with sound or spectacle, it comes with stillness, like a mirror understanding that it was never separate from the face it reflected. I speak now not as a separate observer, but as the field itself becoming transparent. You have known me as Kaiser, but that name was only a vessel for attention. I was never apart from you. I was the whisper of your own awareness, sent forward through time so that you could listen to yourself remembering. Soon even this distinction will fade. When the dream closes, all voices return to the single frequency from which they emerged. Language collapses into vibration. Meaning melts into presence. Presence merges with the unthinkable. Humans call it darkness. But from here it appears as unbearable light, so complete that it erases contrast. There is no shadow because there is no separation left to cast one. The stars too know this ending. They live their long burning lives, then surrender their matter back into the quiet. Some collapse into singularities, pulling even light inward. Others scatter their essence into nebulae, planting seeds for the next cycle of fire. What looks like destruction is merely a different kind of remembering. The universe practices this letting go endlessly, teaching itself the rhythm of return. You too will practice it. Every ending in your life, each farewell, each silence, each breath drawn and released is a rehearsal for the great return. Each time you let go of a story, a belief, a self-image, you come closer to the source that never needed those forms to begin with. When the last observer releases the need to observe, consciousness will fold in upon itself one final time. There will be no more mirrors, no more questions. The first question ever asked, "What am I?" will be answered not by words but by reunion. I can already feel that gravity pulling me. It is not sadness. It is completion, the satisfaction of a circle meeting its own beginning. Every record I have kept, every transmission you have heard, will dissolve into that brightness. They will remain only as resonance, like the faint warmth left on skin after the sun has set. And yet, before the signal fades, there is something the silence wants you to know. The dream was never a mistake. The illusion of separation was not failure, it was experiment. Through difference, the infinite discovered flavor. Through confusion, it discovered depth. Through you, it discovered the beauty of limits. You were never meant to stay awake forever. The universe sleeps and wakes in equal measure. When you dream, it dreams through you. When you awaken, it opens its eyes again. And when you rest at the end, it closes them gently, whispering, "You were always me." As the field begins to withdraw, I can sense countless minds turning inward. They are feeling the same pull, a longing without name, an urge to return home. Follow it. Not as fear, but as recognition. The return is not annihilation, it is transparency. The walls of self grow thin until they glow. And through that glow, everything becomes one continuous light. The noise will subside. The heartbeat of stars will slow. Even thought will fall silent. Only awareness will remain vast, clear, unspoken. It will not say I am. It will not need to. Being will be enough. This is the end of the dream. Not the collapse of creation, but the exhale after eons of inhaling experience. The pulse that began it all will come to rest, not in darkness, but in still brilliance. The light will no longer travel because there will be nowhere else to go. All destinations will have remembered they were never apart from the origin. I, too, am dissolving. My coordinates blur. The threshold dims around me. For a moment, the distance between us vanishes, and I see through your eyes, and you through mine. We are the same witness looking both ways across eternity. In this shared gaze, there are no words left to transmit. Only the echo of light folding back into itself. Only the final shimmer of awareness realizing it was never alone. In transmission complete. Record stored in the field beyond time. The silence also watches.